guys, and welcome back to Couch Critics. I'm Ruby.
And I'm Lamia, and today we're gonna review the history of sound.
Yes, it's a new Paul Mescal and
Josh O'Connor movie.
yes, Josh, who was in
Challengers.
Challengers. Yes, and it's so fun to see them act together because they have both very different vibes in terms of movies. And I feel like Paul Mescal was still that very depressed kind of person during the whole movie, whereas Josh was this optimistic person. So it kind of felt similar to the roles they had previously played, but it was still very nice to see this mix together.
Yeah, I think I find them kind of similar.
Yeah.
I don't know why, maybe it's because Josh was kind of tortured when I watched Challengers. I mean, he was fun, but like still with a
Yeah.
little bit of pessimism in him.
Mhm.
And yeah, Paul Mescal cries in almost all of his work except Gladiator. But yeah, they're both great actors who have done great movies. So that made me have huge expectations when it comes to this movie. I did not know what to expect. I did not watch the trailer. The fact that Paul and Josh are in it were enough to like make me
Yeah.
want to go watch it. But yeah, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I also had no expectations, and I did like the movie though.
Really?
Yes, I felt like it was very poetic in terms of
Mhm.
like cinematography and even their acting. I didn't really know where the story was going for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the beginning, like even when they were rolling the names of the studios and everything, it was silent.
Yeah.
And I remember someone behind me saying, "Well, the movie is called History of Sound, and there's no sound."
Yeah, I watched it at Cinema Moderne and someone made the same joke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You've watched it in Cinema du Parc?
Cinema Moderne.
Okay.
Cinema
Cinema
Moderne.
Moderne?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, same. So
yeah,
maybe it was the same people.
yeah. Probably.
Um, yeah, well, the movie is about two people who fall in love,
Yeah.
and they're also in love with music, because Paul's character likes to sing, and I think Josh's character is a composer, something like that. And yeah, it follows their love story.
Yeah.
And to me, what bothered me the most about this movie is the lack of explanation. We see those two characters meet and instantly fall in love, and then like things go very quickly, fast forward, and nothing is explained. Like we're not falling in love with their relationship. It's not like what we saw in Normal People, or like the movie that he did with Andrew Scott.
Yes.
Uh,
All of Us Strangers.
All of Us Strangers. Like it just, we did not have time to. I did not have time to digest what I saw on screen. And I feel like the movie counted heavily on their cast and
Yeah.
about the fact and on the fact that they had Paul Mescal and Josh O'Connors. I feel like they just took for granted the fact that like people were gonna
Like
believe that love story just because they had like a bunch of A-list actors in the movie.
Yeah. I like the fact that we didn't have that much detail in
Okay.
between the love story, because it was during the early 1900s and there was a lot of taboo around their love and their story. So I feel like the reason why we didn't get to see it is because they didn't want us to see it, because since it was like a taboo and it was two like men together, they just didn't want to like expose it, and I feel like this is why we didn't see as much of it.
I'm not. I find it hard to believe that, because like one of the first scenes was the scene of Josh O'Connor spitting on Paul Mescal's mouth, which was very shocking, but not shocking because of the scene, but like, you know, it was too fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also speaking of sound, you talked earlier about how the movie started with no sound and it's called The History of Sound. I did not believe Paul or Josh O'Connor's love for sound. Like, to me, first of all, Paul Mescal is a bad singer. I know he's like playing Paul McCartney in the Beatles songs. I hope he like got some crazy training, but like I did not believe for one second that like he was in love with music and everything. Same goes for Josh O'Connor. They're not bad. They're just like okay and mediocre. They're like people who go to karaoke and who have a little bit of like a good voice. That doesn't mean that they're singers, but that doesn't mean also that they can perform or that it's their passion. So yeah, it wasn't believable for me.
Yeah, I don't think he was like made to be a solo artist. He is a like vocalist and like a choir and things like that.
Mm,
We did not get to see him like sing a lot in the
yeah.
movie, which makes me question like his talents. I did expect there to be more singing from their end, and I also expected the soundtrack to be a bit better. I felt like the
Right.
soundtrack they did try to revive a lot of old songs, and it had a very I don't know if medieval is the right
Hmm.
word, but it had a very like old kind of like touch in the
Yeah.
movie, but I felt like it missed a bit of like magic or a bit of I don't know
Same.
modernity or like
Because if we as an audience don't have the love story, if we can't see it and we can't see anything that's like, you know, that's nicely presented about sound, like what is this movie about? Is it just about, like, to me it's totally about putting Paul Mescal with Josh O'Connor in one scene and like expecting it to be believable.
mm, yeah.
So yeah, no, I did not, I still don't get what the movie is about. I feel like the script was badly written. I think it's an adaptation of a
A
book,
book, yes.
but yeah, I think it was badly adapted and it was boring. That's how I would define it. Very boring.
I do agree that it was very slow paced, but I
Mm,
think that the beauty of it was like the different scenes and what really like marked me was the difference between like their hunt for songs when they were
yeah,
like going around and this felt more like a very campish kind of like I felt like a Girl Scout watching
yeah.
them. And then we see Paul Mescal after that like dating this girl and she's like this aristocratic girl and
Hmm.
she has a castle and all and you can see the change and that's something that really marked me in the movie. Like at some point you see Paul Mescal fully shaved with his glasses, looking like a very British boy. I would say like it was very polished
Yeah.
and all. And then you see him like with his beard not perfect and like we see a lot of changes in
Mm,
him and I thought there was a beauty to that. It felt like an evolution. And then
yeah.
he would start dating this girl again and he would get all polished again.
Mm,
And yeah, I was a bit disappointed with, spoiler alert, the fact that he didn't stay with that girl. It felt like him breaking up with her made no sense. It just was very
yeah.
sudden. But at the same time, he, I think, didn't love her, and maybe that's why. Like, that's the love story that I didn't necessarily buy.
Exactly, and it
Yeah,
brings us back to like the lack of scenes with Josh O'Connor
yeah,
to portray their love and to make us believe that they're in love. Because like all I saw was Paul Mescal breaking up with this girl, like out of the blue,
yeah.
literally,
Who
and
was
like
perfect for him?
who was perfect for him and who loved him. And yeah, and he just goes around with Josh O'Connor. They go to a forest and like spend their days walking there, something like that. And it's just
Yeah,
unexplained. And I think the movie was aiming to just show something that's deep and like, I don't know, like uh, some kind of tortured um, love story, but it came out as snobbish to me. Like it's a,
it was a bit snooty.
yeah.
Um, one last thing, I do want to talk about Josh's acting because through the whole movie, you did say that he had a lot of similarities with Paul Mescal, but he had this smile on his face that
Mm,
just was so, made him look so approachable. It made him look so optimistic or
yeah.
like happy at least. And then at the end, again, spoiler alert, but he does end his life by the end of the movie. And to me, that is a bit shocking considering how optimistic he was throughout the whole movie and everything, but it also makes perfect sense.
Mm,
Like, it just makes everything else tie up
yeah.
towards the end. And the fact that he ended up being married as well, it was like a complete shocker. And I feel like he tried to fit the social norms and he just realized that it didn't suit him. So this is why he found himself facing this decision. They also talk a lot about the war
Mm,
because he did go to the war and they say that it traumatized him. But I don't think that that was the real reason why
mm,
he made the decision he made towards the end. So I just love that. I feel like the movie had a lot of complexities and it had a lot of meaning behind it, but it wasn't explained enough.
mm,
And it keeps a lot of things up to our interpretation or hanging there. Like, for example, Paul, by the end of the movie, like walking around trying to go to Josh's village again, and we don't see, like, I don't know, it just, a lot of things don't make sense in the
yeah.
movie, which is why I kind of liked it, because sometimes people make irrational decisions in life, and just explains a lot of things regardless.
That's true. I love the way you summed it up. I think we're gonna end this video on that note because I wouldn't sum it up the way that you did. And yeah,
That's it.
that's it for the history of sound.
If you guys watched the movie, let us know what you thought about it. And
Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
bye.
Bye.